Hello and welcome to the third in the Spinal Health and Mobility series of Pump Push Work Hard Fitness Group sessions. Today we're going to be covering the lower back or the lumbar spine. So please find a comfortable way to sit on your mat, and if you need a block or a bolster or anything to sit on, now's the time to pause the video and grab that, and I'll meet you back on the mat. So once you're in a comfortable seated position, I want you to just rest your hands on your knees with your palms facing up and close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths here, trying to relax your shoulders, relax your arms, relax your legs. Feel as if you're sinking into your mat. And just notice all the points of your body that are touching the ground. And let them feel heavy. Relax the muscles in your face, your eyebrows, your cheeks. Take a breath in, fill up your lungs, and breathe out. And repeat that a couple times for me. And next time you exhale, open your eyes and we will get started. So, as always, we will start with my favorite pose, the cat-cow. This time we're going to be doing the kneeling version. So if you come up onto all fours on your mat with your hands underneath your shoulders, so they'll be about shoulder width apart, knees underneath your hips, so they'll be about hip width apart. Imagine your back is a table, and when you inhale, gently arch your back, open your chest, and breathe in. And as you exhale, curve your back into a C, tuck your tummy in, become as round as possible, and repeat that another 2 times. Breathe in, arch your back, and breathe out, curve in, and one more time. Breathe in, arch your back, and breathe out, curve into a C. And just come back to a neutral spine. Now, I want you to just pop your knees a little bit further back and bring yourself slowly down onto the mat. We're going to repeat a couple of exercises from last time. So if you remember the Sphinx and the Cobra, we're going to do those 2 in succession. So bring your forehead onto the mat, put your elbows next to your shoulders, and just gently lift yourself up. Remember, at this point you want to engage your tummy, you want to engage your glutes, and just pop your elbows hip width apart and parallel in front of you. Now here, you can breathe in and lift up a bit more. You don't need to cock your neck back, you can just look straight ahead. You can have your legs as wide as you want to feel comfortable in your back. And take a couple more breaths. Relax the shoulders. And breathe out. And just give your hips a little shake from left to right here. And now we're going to do Cobra. So bring the palms of your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width apart in front of you, so perhaps near your head. And next time you breathe in, just gently lift yourself up. See how that feels in your back. Relax your shoulders. Engage your glutes, engage your core. If you want, you can move the hands back. As long as you're not feeling it in your lower back, you can open up here. Open that chest, look in front of you, and take 2 more breaths here. next exhale, you can bring yourself down and push yourself back into a child's pose. So feet together, knees apart, walk your hands forward and rest your forehead on the ground if you can. If you can't, you can rest it on your hands. And just try and sink your bottom into your feet here. And what you want is to feel a nice pull in the lower back after you've been putting a little bit of pressure on it with those back bends. So then when you're ready, we're going to start going into our first downward dog pose. So keep your hands about sort of shoulder width or slightly further apart. I want you to take all 10 fingers, splay them out and push them into the mat, so as if all your knuckles are pressing into the mat equally. Now when you're here, you don't need to lock out your arms. Have a very, very gentle bend in them. You come onto your tiptoes. You can walk them back a little bit, particularly if you're tall. And bring your shoulders in line with your ears. So that's the first step. Then you start to lift up from the toes and keep your knees bent, but try and keep your arms where they are so you're not coming forward here. But your ears are as near as possible to your shoulders. Now, here what might feel quite nice is if you just push one foot down towards the ground at a time, so you're pedaling out the feet. Try and suck your tummy in if you can. And just do that for a couple more seconds. And when you're ready, come forward into a plank. So you roll forward, engage your tummy, go on your tippy toes, engage your arms, take one breath in, and now push back into that downward dog. This is quite difficult, so if you're feeling it, you won't be alone. And again, pedal out your legs. Imagine if someone has a spring that's pulling on your sit bone towards the sky. So the aim here is to pull your hips up as high as possible. And one day you'll be able to bring your feet on the ground, but that's not the objective. All the while you're sucking your tummy in, and we'll come back into a plank now. Take one breath in plank, engage your tummy, engage your glutes, and push back into downward dog. One last time. And here, what I want you to do is start walking your hands towards your feet. Have your legs bent and come into a bend. Now, if you want for extra support, you can put your hands on your calves. If your hands reach the ground, you can do that. If your legs can go straight, you can do that. But what I want is a very gentle forward bend here. And as you take your next inhale, I want you to start rolling up to a standing position. Okay, great. We're going to repeat that now. So take an inhale, and as you breathe out, roll down, roll forward, and walk yourself back into a downward dog. I'm sorry, I know this is difficult, but have your hands firmly planted. Imagine if someone is pulling your bum up to the sky, ears near your shoulders, but relax your shoulders. Suck your tummy in and just take 2 breaths there. And on your next exhale, come into child's pose. And take a couple of breaths there. Lovely. So just bring yourself up to seated. What we're going to do now is lay down on our backs. So if you want to just lay down on your mat with your feet straight in front of you and just shake out the legs a little bit, let them relax a little, and take your right knee, put your hands just beneath the knee, and see if you can bring that knee a little bit further towards your chest. Now at this point, this leg's going to want to lift up. So try and keep this foot flexed, the left leg straight and as close to the ground as possible. What might help is if you take your left hand and push down on your left hip so it's not lifting up. And you take that right knee and you give yourself a really nice stretch there by pulling it towards you. Here, you're opening the hips, you're getting a stretch into your glutes, and you're helping mobilize that side of the hips and lower back. And now we'll switch. So straighten the right leg, flex that foot, put it on the mat, clasp around your left shin, and see if you can pull that leg towards you. Try and keep the right leg grounded, push your right hip down into the mat, and pull that left knee towards you. Don't forget to breathe, relax your shoulders into the mat. And we'll release that leg. So now we're going to do a couple of bridges. So if you bring your feet flat on the ground, about hip width apart, quite close to your bottom, but not sticking to your bottom. And you can have your hands by your side. And what I want you to do here is really engage your tummy, your glutes, your legs, your feet as much as you can. And don't let your knees fall apart when you come into a bridge pose. So the tendency is that as you go up, your knees come further apart, but don't let that happen. So you want your knees nice and parallel. So on your next inhale, breathe in, and as you exhale, push up into a bridge, and just check in with those knees, see if they're still parallel. Is your tummy nice and tight? Are your glutes engaged? Are your feet both pressing into the ground equally? Take one more breath there and breathe out and come back down. And you can move your knees from left to right in a windscreen wiper position just to relax the lower back a little bit. And we're going to do that again for a little bit longer this time. So come back into position, take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, push your hips towards the sky and see how high you can go. Engage your glutes, tuck your tummy in, make sure your knees aren't splaying out, and push into all parts of your feet equally on both of the feet. Now, if you want here, we're going to be here for another 4 breaths. You can come onto the tiptoes of the right foot, or you can even lift the right foot. And bring it down. And if you want, you can stay as you are. If not, come onto the tip of the left foot. Or if you want even more, then lift up the left foot towards the sky, but just be careful not to drop down on the right side. One more breath here. And bring that foot down. And as you exhale, come down to the ground. Now do a windscreen wiper and just release the lower back a little bit there. And when you're ready, what I want you to do is to straighten your left leg and take your right leg, cross it over the left, extend out your right shoulder and your right arm, and just come into a gentle twist. Now, you don't want your right shoulder lifting up from the ground. You want it to be in contact at all times, and you should feel a nice gentle stretch on the right hand side of your spine. One more breath there, and release. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. So if you take your left knee and cross it over the right. Extend your left arm and your left shoulder to the ground and just come into a gentle twist. Keep that left shoulder and left arm on the ground, even if it means you have to come back a little bit with the leg. You want to feel nice and grounded. And you might notice that with every exhale, you might be able to twist a little bit more. Take one more breath there. And come back. Now what I would like you to do is either roll up into seated, or you can roll onto your side and push yourself up into a seated position. And we are going to repeat something from week 1, or the introductory session, which was stirring the pot. So if you bring your legs out about 90 degrees apart, now remember at the time I said that with this one you can sit on something. The objective is for you to be nice and straight in your back. So for some people they can do this, for some people it's here, for some people they're still feeling a bit curved and you need something under your bum to make you a little bit straight, like a pillow or a block. Please take whatever is necessary. I just want a straight back. I don't care about the rest of it. And here you want to go, have your legs at 90 degrees. Now, if curved is better for you, bent knees is better for you, then do that. If you are able to straighten your legs, put equal pressure on both sides and your back is still straight, then you can do that too. And what you want, as you can see, I'm flexing my feet. You want your feet to be flexed so the legs are nice and engaged. And we're just going to position ourselves, take a nice deep breath in. And then next time you exhale, I want you to twist to the right and do that stirring position as we did in the first week. So take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, move over to your right foot, to the front, to the left, and inhale. And exhale, we'll do that 4 times on each side. And inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale. I think that was 4 times. And now we'll do that on the other side. So take a nice deep inhale and exhale onto the left, coming round to the right hand side and up, over to the left and right hand side and up. 1 more time, 2 more times. And up, and last time, and come up for me. Now this is a great way to mobilize the spine and open up the hips as well. Speaking of which, we're just going to open up the hips a little bit more. Now I know this is the lower back section of the video, but it would be nice to just work on the relevant areas. So I'm going to do a very gentle hip opener. So I want you to bring your feet in front of you and just press them together. Now they don't need to be in this sort of very yogic, right near your groin area. They can be as far forward as you want, as long as your back's nice and straight and you're not feeling a lot of pressure in your hips. You might again need to sit on a block if this is very uncomfortable for you and you have tight hips. But somewhere in front of you, if you can bring your feet together, hold on to your feet and open them, almost like you're reading a book. You don't need to open them too far. You're just essentially holding onto them. Now, some of you may be able to bring your knees further to the ground, and that's fine as long as it's not hurting. And I want you to take an inhale, breathe in, and as you exhale, just start to round the back. Look towards your feet and bend your back now. You're allowed to make it curved. And just take a few inhales and exhales. You should be feeling a nice opening effect around the groin and hips now. Stay there for 3 more breaths. And come back up. Brilliant. So we're just going to finish that practice now. by doing a quick breathing session. So just come into your comfortable seated position, pause the video if you need to grab your bolster again, and when you're ready, hands on your knees, palms facing up, eyes closed. We're going to do a quick body scan to relax your body before the end of the session. So pay attention to your toes and your feet, make sure they're relaxed. See if you can relax your calves, your knees, and your thighs. Relax your bottom, your hips. Let your tummy fall out and relax and breathe as it wants. Relax your spine, your chest. Let your shoulders drop down. Let your arms sink into the legs. Relax your hands and your fingers. Relax your neck, your scalp, the muscles of your face. Let your jaw gently drop open. Let your tongue relax. Pay attention to your breath. Feel the nice cool air going into your nostrils and coming out. Keep breathing until you hear the end of the sound, paying attention to your breath. One more time. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for joining me in this session. I look forward to seeing you in the last session, which is the spinal strength session. So it's going to be a little bit more active, a little bit more heated, and I look forward to seeing you then.